Hello friends, welcome to Expert Guidance, and today we'll be covering a very important topic of your GCSE Maths, which is indices. It's a very important topic, easy topic, but this is a topic where student tends to do a lot of silly mistakes. So we will tell you the strategy on how to do these questions. So here in this video, we'll be going over all the 6 laws of indices, where there's law 1 of addition, subtraction, law of zero power, law of power to a power, law of negative power, law 6 of fractional power. As we do each of these laws, we'll be doing some example questions on each of them. And in the end, we'll do mixed problems. Okay, so I recommend you to watch this video till the end, because here we'll progressively do each and every concept. So if you do not understand one concept, it will be difficult for you to understand the other, as they are all connected. Okay, so let's begin. Now, the first law is law of addition. Now, what it says when you have 2 indices, the bases are same, but the powers are different, and you're multiplying them, then the answer would be you can put the same base and add up the indices or add up the power. So for example, if you have 2 to the power 5 times by 2 to the power 3, now they both have the same base, which is 2, but the powers are different. The powers are different, which are 5 and 3, so they get added, so the answer would be 2 to the power 8. Let's do another example. 3 to the power 1 times 3 to the power minus 2. They both have same bases, but the indices are different and they're getting multiplied. So we'll add the 2. 3 to the power minus 1 plus minus 2, which is minus 1, will be the answer. Okay, so I hope this is clear to you. Now let us do some example question of this. So the first question is m to the power 6, 3 and minus 1. Again, we have the same base, but the powers are different and they are getting multiplied. So we'll add it. So the answer would be 6, add 3, add minus 1. So that will give you the answer. 6 add 3 is 9, take away 1 is 8. So the answer is m to the power 8. The other question, the base is same, which is q. The powers will get added. So 2 minus 5 is minus 3. So the answer would be q to the power minus 3. Okay, so I hope this is clear to you. Next question, simple. 2, 5 add 2, 7. And the next question, they ask you to find the value of k. So a to the power 5, a to the power 5. So on my left side would be a to the power 10. My right side would be 8. So what do you add it to get 10? You will add 8 to the power 2. So the answer would be k is to the power 2. Now let's do this question. You can multiply the whole numbers together, which is 5 times 3, which is 15. For multiplying the indices, you'll just add the power. So the answer would be this. Okay. Now try this question. You can pause this video, try the question. Okay, let's try. 2 times 3 is 6. A is 2 and power 1, which is 2 plus 1. And B is 3 plus 4. So our answer would be 6a to the power 3, b to the power 7. Okay, so I hope this is clear to you. Now let's move on to the next law, which is law of subtraction, where you have the same base, different powers, and they are divided. Now when they are divided, you take away the 2 powers. So here, x to the power m divided by x to the power n. X is the base, which is the same. So the power gets subtracted, m minus n. Let's take an example. 2 to the power 5 divided by 2 to the power 3. 2 remains here. 5 minus 3 is 2. 3 to the power 1 divided by 3 to the power minus 2. So 3 remains same. We'll do 1 take away minus 2, which is 1 plus 3. So the answer would be 3 to the power 3. Okay, so I hope the law is clear to you. Now let's try the question. Question number 1. P to the power 8 divided by P to the power 9. Same base, different powers divided. You take away the 2 powers. So the answer would be P to the power 1. Here we can write it as 15 q to the power 5 divided by 3 q to the power 3. We divide the whole numbers. 15 divided by 3 is 5. And the powers become 5 minus 3. So the answer would be 5q squared. Okay, let's take another example. This is 25x squared y cubed divided by 5xy squared. So 25 divided by 5 is 5. X is 2 minus 1, which is x, and 3 minus 2, which is 1. So the answer would be 5xy. Let's do this question. 7 to the 5 divided by 7 to the 2. So that becomes 7 to the 3. Now let's see this last question. Here we'll first multiply using the multiplication law of indices, and then we'll divide. So let's multiply first. 3 times 2 is 6. X squared and x cubed. The base is same. The power gets added. So that is 5 divided by 3x squared. Now let's do the division. 6 divided by 3 is 2. x5 minus 2 is x3. So that will be the answer. Okay, so I hope the second law of subtraction is clear to you. Now let's come to the third law. Very easy. Anything to the power 0 is 1. 2 to the power 0, 1. 3 to the power 0, 1. 5 y to the power 0, 1. So here the answer would be y to the power 0 is 1. 3 to the power 0 is 1. X squared, x5, this x to the power 0 turns out into 1. So it becomes x squared plus x5 multiplied by 1 and square root 5, it will be written as x7. The last question, first let's simplify the numerator. 3 times 2 is 6, x cubed plus x squared is x5, and x squared is 1, so that would be the answer. All right, now let's move on to the fourth law. It says power to a power. So if you have any base which has a power and it is further raised to a power, then you multiply the two powers together. So for example, this is x to the power m raised to the power n. So the answer would be xmn. Okay, let's take an example. This is 2 squared to the power 3. So you multiply 3 and 2 together and you get 2 to the power 6. This is 3 to the power 2 raised to the power minus 5. So do 2 minus 5, which is minus 10. So the answer would be 3 minus 10. Okay, so I hope this law is clear to you. Have a go at these questions. You can pause this video and try all these 5 questions. Okay, now let's see. This is x squared to the power 3. Power to a power get multiplied. This becomes x to the power 6. Now these questions take care that it's not just the variable that is to the power, the 5 is also power 2. So we can write this like this: 5 to the power 2 and x cubed to the power 2. Now 5 square is 5 times 5, which is 25, and x is power to a power, which is 3 times 2, so the answer would be 6. Okay, so if you write them like in break, like put number to a power and letter to a power, then there's less likely to do this mistake. Otherwise, what students do, they write it as 5x6, which is wrong. Okay, let's do the same thing to this question. This is 2x squared y cubed, everything got cubed. So it means 2 is also to a power 3, x square is also to a power 3, and y cube is also to a power 3. Now what is 2 to the power 3? That is 2 times 2 times 2, which is 8. x2 to x3 is power to a power, which is x6, and y3 to the power 3 is y9. Okay, so I hope this is clear to you. Let's do this question. We'll do the same way. 25 will be half. Power half means square root, and 6 to the power half. Now square root of 25 is 5. 6 times a half is 3. So the answer is 5y cubed. Okay, now let's do this last question. This will become 8 to the power 1/3. y6 to the power 1/3. 1/3 means cube root. So cube root of 8 is 2. 6 divided by 3 is 2. So the answer is 2y squared. Okay, so I hope this fourth law is clear to you. Now let's come to the fifth law, which is the negative power. If you have any power as negative, that can be converted to positive when you flip the base. Flip the base means whatever is the numerator, you make it to a denominator you make it to a numerator. So here it is x to the power minus a, which had a denominator 1. So you flip it, it becomes 1 over x, and the power turned out to be positive, which is a. So 2 to the power minus 2, flip the base, that becomes half, the power becomes positive, that is 2. 3 to the power 2 to the power minus 5. So we'll flip the base, which is 2 to the power 3, and the power becomes positive 5. Okay, now let's do this question. This is x to the power minus 1. We flip the base, that is 1x, the power becomes 1. For the next question, x over y, flip it, so that becomes y over x, and minus 3 turns out to be 3. So here the answer would be y cube over x cube. This is 2 to the power minus 3. First flip the base, that becomes 1 over 2 cube. 1 over cube means 1 times 1 times 1. over 2 times 2 times 2, which is 1 to the power 8. Okay, now let's try this question. 8 to the power minus 1 over 3. First, we'll convert it into positive. That is 1/3. Okay, so it means that 1 is also getting cube root and 8 is also getting cube root. Cube root of 1 is 1, cube root of 8 is 2, so the answer is a half. Okay, let's try this last question. 25 over 64. Now 25, first of all, we'll convert the negative power into a positive power. So we'll flip the base. So that becomes 64 over 25 to the power a half. Now, what does a power half means? That means square root of 64, square root of 25, square root of 64 is 8, 25 is 5, and that's your answer. Okay, so I hope these 5 laws are clear to you. Let us move on to the last law, which is the law of fractional power. At times, the indices are in the form of fraction, like 3 over 2, 2 over 3. It means that the bottom power, the bottom indice, the denominator of the indices will go as a root sign and it will raise to the power of the numerator. So for example, if you have 4, 3 over 2, the bottom number is a half, which means you'll do first square root of 4 and then cube it. So square root of 4 is 2 and then you cube it, that becomes 8. Okay, now let's try this question. This is 25 to the power minus a half. First, we'll convert it into a positive power. That is 1 over 25 a half, which will be square root of 1 over 25. So the answer would be 1 over 5. Okay, let's do this another question. 4 over 9 to the power minus a half. First, let's convert it into a positive power, which is 9 over a 4. And then it has a half. Half means square root. So square root of 9 is 3. Square root of 4 is 2. And that is the answer. For the last question, we'll first make it a positive power. So we'll do 16 over 25. The power is 3 over 2. Remember, the bottom number, the denominator of the power goes as a root, and then it will all raise to 3. So 16 root is 4, 25 root is 5, and then this is all to the power 3. So this is 64 over 125 is the answer. Okay, so I hope this law of fractional power is clear to you. Now let us look at some mixed problems that have everything we have discussed so far. So you can pause the video, have a go at these 4 questions. Okay, now let's see how you need to do these questions. In the first one, we'll first solve the numerator. So it's the multiplication. The law of addition we'll use. 5 times 3 is 15. X squared times x is 2 plus 1, which is x3. And this is 6. Add 1 is y to the power 7. So the numerator is 15x cubed, y to the power 7, and the denominator is 5x squared, y squared. Now we'll use the law of subtraction or division. So 15 divided by 5 is 3. x3 over x2 is 3 minus 2, which is x, and 7 minus 2 is 5. So the answer is 3x by 5. Now let's do the second one. Second one is power to a power. P2 to the power 3. They get multiplied if you remember. 2 times 3 is 6. Times 2 times 3 is 6. And you know p to the power 0 is 1. And that is p squared. So let's just solve the numerator first. 6 times 6 is 6 add 6 is 12 over p2. Then we'll do 12 minus 2. So which is p to the power 10 is an answer. Okay. Now let's do the C part. Now C part is 27 to the power minus 2 over 3 and x6 to the power minus 2 over 3. Now 27, first we'll convert it into a positive power. It will become 2 over 3, yeah, which means you will find the cube root of 127 and then you will square it. And the power is 6 times minus 3 over 2, which is 6 times minus 2 over 3 is minus 4. Okay, so now cube root of 27 is 3. And then you square it, which becomes 1 over 9. X to the power minus 4 will be the answer. Okay, so I hope this is clear to you. Now let us do this question. Looks a little complicated, but no, it is not. This is 27 times 3 and we can do fourth root of that. Fourth root means 1 over 4. And we can write 10 to the power 16 and fourth root of that. Now 27 times 3. 27 times 3 is 81. Okay. And 81 fourth root is 3. All right. And 16 times 4 is 10 to the power 4. So that will be the answer. So what we have done in this question, we have multiplied the whole number, found the fourth root of that, and 10 to the power 16 we have raised to a power 16 times 1 over 4, and that has given us the answer 10 over 4. Okay, so I hope these mixed problems are clear to you, and these kinds of problems are more likely to come in the exam because here they are testing all your knowledge of all the laws. Okay, so now let's try this question. This is 2 times 2 root 2, and you have to raise everything to the power 2 to the power. So this is 2 to the power 1 multiplied by root 2 can be written as 2 to the power half, which is equal to 2 to the power a. Now, since the base are same, we can add the indices. So 1 plus a half is 3 over 2. So 2 to the power 3 over 2 is 2 to the power a, which means our a is 3 over 2. Correct? Let's try another question. 5 times 125. Now, 125 can be written as 5 cube to the power a half, right? 125 is 5 cube and square root is a half, which means we have written 5 times 5 over to the power 3 over 2. Now, since the base are same, we can add the power. So 1 plus 3 over 2 is 5 times 5 over 2 equals 5 to the power a. So the value of a is 5 over 2. Okay, so I hope this is clear to you. Now let's do this question. 3 to the power n. Now raise 81 as 3 power. So that is 3 times 3 is 9, 9 times 3 is 27, 3 times 3 is 81. So it means n is equal to 4. Okay, so I hope this is clear to you. Now let's do this question. 3 to the power minus n equals 81. So first let's convert it into a positive power. So 1 over 3, or you can just raise 81 as 3 to the power. Okay, so 3 to the power 9 and 81 is 3 to the power 4. So n minus n is equal to 4. So it means n is equal to minus 4. Okay, so I hope this is clear to you. Now let's try this question. You have been given a is 3 to the power x and b is 3 to the power 5. You have to write these values in the terms of a plus b. Looks complicated? Very easy. Let's see. Now you have 3 to the power x plus y. Now this, you know that powers can only get added when the bases are same and they're multiplied. So 3 to the power x plus y, we can write it as 3 to the power x multiplied by 3 to the power 5. Are we correct? Because the bases are same, the powers are different, they'll get added. Now what is 3 to the power x? That is a. And what is 3 to the power 5? Which is b. So the answer of this is AB. Easy? Let's do another question. This is 3 to the power y minus 1, which means 3 to the power y minus 1 can be written as 3 to the power y multiplied by 3 to the power y multiplied by 3 to the power minus 1, or we can write this as 3 to the power y divided by 3 to the power 1. And what is 3 to the power y? That is b. So this becomes b over 3. Do you get it? Let's do the last question. This is 3 to the power 2x, which means 3 to the power x raised to the power 2 is 3 to the power 2x, because power to a power gets multiplied, and our 3 to the power x is a, so that becomes a squared. Okay, so I hope this all is clear to you. These are all the 6 laws, and these are the different types of questions that can be asked in this. Now, what you need to do is you need to try more questions on indices so that you can come to know whether you have understood the topic well or not. And the only way to assess yourself is to do exam questions on this topic. So as always, the next step is to check specification of this topic and see if there's anything that is left, or if everything is crystal clear to you. And then you do exam questions on this topic. The link of this is mentioned in the description box below. So I hope you like this video. Do subscribe to my channel, and if in case you're still stuck, then you can come to my Facebook group, which is Get A Stars in GCSEs and A-Level Science and Maths by Mahima, and you can post all your queries there and get instant reply, or you can come to my website where there's a 24/7 chat support. Okay, so I'll see you next in my next video. Till then, happy revising.